Hi, Lorrie Popow here. I've come from a wonderful egg show called Pysanky at the Gardens. While there, we filmed some wonderful tips from egg artists. Granted, the quality of the audio and video is not spectacular since we weren't in a studio, but I'm sure you will pick up some very interesting information. I'm sharing with you today a wonderful demo for how to organize your dye colors by my good friend Carolyn Trout.
I am Carolyn Trout, and I'm going to do a very quick demonstration about how I make color sample sticks so that I can choose the colors I want to use. This is not an original idea with me, but parts of the way I do it are original. These are just popsicle sticks. You can buy them by masses. You can buy 100 of them at a time at Walmart or at Michael's. And I prepare them by cutting strips of Avery labels or Office Depot labels, and just enough to wrap all the way around with a little bit of overlap. I do not like to use just pre-cut labels because then I get uneven edges. I'll find one in here eventually. I buy the bigger sheets and then just cut them so that I have exactly the size that I need. And I wrap them around, and then I start that way. I dip them in the color, whatever, and then I let them dry. It doesn't take them long to dry at all. And I also wrap the other end with tape or masking tape, because when you drill these, if you don't have them, they split. So I use masking tape or regular just Scotch tape. So I have a label at this end, a label at this end, and then before I dip them, or right after, I write the color on this, because if you do a bunch of them and don't write the color right away, you have forgotten it. And I write the name of the color and the manufacturer on here. And I have learned that I need to write that on both sides because it's easier to find them if you have them on both sides. So the label gives you a true color. If you just dye the stick, you do not get a true color. Then I dip them in the MSA Golden or varnisher or something that has a UV protectant, because that keeps the color true. And then you have to dry them. And that is probably the toughest part of the whole thing. I have a drill press. A lot of people don't have a drill press. But if you have a drill of any kind or a drill point on your Dremel, you just drill, mark so that they're all approximately, the holes are all approximately the same distance from the end, and you drill it at just a little bit bigger than whatever wire you're going to use. This is a wire hanger that I have just cut. And it is this length because I hang it on my shelf brackets. So it's hanging right beside me, and then I can do that. I used to have them on a big loop like that, but this way I can, and then I can choose colors that I want to use together and hold it right up to your egg. You can hold it right up to the picture that you are using to make sure that you get the exact shade. But the keys to this are using a label that is exactly enough so that you don't have little stray pieces hanging off the edge. And here's one. I don't know if you can see it. That's one where I just used an address label and I wrapped it around. And I did not like the way it gives me it. I had to do it in an angle, and I was never quite sure. And it's I just don't like it. It wasn't as pretty as the others. But then when I arranged them, I tried to arrange them in color families so that I had the same things. Now this is easy to take off if you want to put in new ones, or if you want to take some off. But the important things: protect the ends so that you can drill without splitting. Protect the color by dipping them in some sort of a finish, either varnish or MSA, and then letting them dry. And that is the most difficult part. I string a wire that is really tight because otherwise it sags. And I try not to dry more than a couple at a time, and I space them out along there because even little wind things, and if they, while they're still damp with the varnish, if they stick together, then you play hop getting them apart.
Use a clothespin and just peg it to your line?
You could use a clothespin and peg it to your line. Yes, if I had clothespins, I would do that. Binder clips would work. Something, but something to just keep them for an hour or two until they dry, because they dry very quickly. You don't have much there. So
could you dip into gesso instead of putting a label?
Yes, you can do anything that is going to be absolutely transparent. Yeah. But because I have tons of
instead of the label, could you dip the
Gesso.
popsicle stick
Oh,
in
you
white
mean
gesso?
oh yes, you probably could. I had never thought of that.
Yeah.
Sure, you use that to prime canvases with, and
Well, it's a primer.
it's primer, and as long as you do something like that, sure.
Is it an acrylic product?
It's a water base, so
It's
it
a water.
probably isn't.
It might resist the dye.
It might resist the dye. Yeah.
So it's worth testing first.
Yeah, it's worth testing first, because I have drawers full of labels, because I do lots of things with labels. I use full page labels, and I just mark out exactly what I need and cut them up. So this is it's very cost efficient, and it is very simple, and you get true color.
Excellent.
So that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Dead simple. Thank you.